You talked about how your father helped prepare you that summer. And what did he do exactly?
Yeah, so my mom and dad, both my parents always instilled into us just the mindset of just absolutely working as hard as you can. Like, and it doesn't matter what the environment is, it doesn't matter what the job is, it doesn't matter if it's something that you don't want to be doing. If you have the opportunity to work, you work hard. And so that's why when I went into that recruiter's office and they all kind of laughed when I told them I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, that pissed me off. And then they told me, well, hey, you can't do anything with that cast on your hand. And the Navy SEAL wannabe recruiter won't be back until Thursday. I was like, okay. And that whole wannabe thing kind of pushed me. And, my in addition to the hard work, my parents always taught us, like, if you want something, you have to go out there and work to go get it. And you don't allow another human being to dictate what you can and can't do in life. Like, nobody has a right to tell you what you can do and what you can't do. And so that mindset had always been instilled in. So when somebody would try to say, well, you shouldn't do that or you can't do that, it had the opposite effect on my brother, my sister, and I, because we'd be like, really? Well, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, my sister just became a doctor. And for years, people told her, you shouldn't do that. It's going to be way too hard. You're a single mom, blah, blah, blah. Like, the stats of single moms being able to make this happen and be successful. And for people to say that to Sarah, she was like, okay, watch this. And guess what? Now she's a doctor and she was going for neurosurgery. But this is what's crazy about my sister is neurosurgery for her, that was going to be too boring because it would be the same type of thing over and over. And so she wanted general trauma surgery so she could be challenged every single day. And she just got her number one pick for 5 years of residency. And that's how well she did with all of her stuff. And so that's always been ingrained into us. And so that summer that I was going to be working construction with my dad before I left from the military, my dad pushed me mentally and physically past my limits every single day because he knew that if I wanted to become a Navy SEAL, that I was going to have to be at a different state of mind. Now, my uncle, who we were very close with, he had some friends that he was cops with that, used to be SEALs or new SEALs, and they had a little bit of insight, right? And so they told him like what the training program was going to be like. My other uncle was a PJ in the Air Force, so he was Air Force Special Forces. He had been doing that for years. He was a tier one PJ. He had worked with the SEAL teams and Delta and Rangers and guys all, he'd worked with all the top level special forces. And so he had kind of given us some insight and gave my parents some insight as well in regards to, hey, this is his mindset's going to be, this is what the training's going to have to be like. And so that summer, for my dad pushing me doing construction was the absolute best thing that anybody ever could have done for me.
That's great.
And, it was cool because we cut my cast off because I told him what the recruiters told me and how I couldn't even go into the Navy with the cast on, and I really wanted to go. And my dad was like, awesome, because he knew the route that I was going. I'd gotten a street bike my senior year of high school. I was starting to kind of party. I had run from the cops a couple times on my street bike, and my dad knew about it because he heard me and my buddies joking and talking about it. And he saw what was getting ready to develop, and he just didn't want me to go down that path. And that was absolutely a path that someone like myself would have gone down quick because I was just driven by that. It was like that adrenaline rush. And, hey, the military is going to take care of that, especially in the SEAL teams. And so that challenge that I needed from the military, my dad just knew what he needed to do. And there was times where I would be so mad. I'd be in tears, mad with my dad that summer because of what he was doing and how he's pushing me. But when I got in the military, or even when I got into boot camp, I was able to immediately think back, I'm very thankful. And Navy boot camp's not hard, But I recognized that mindset that my dad had already started to instill into me was the most important part. The physical part, I was a really good athlete. I was in really good shape, and that wasn't going to be an issue for me. It was the mental side. And my dad knew that most young guys don't make it through training because they're not mentally prepared for that portion of their life yet.